Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here. This has been a very interesting, very helpful hearing. One of my biggest frustrations with this place, Congress, is the busyness of it. And here we are talking about what I think is one of the most important subjects we could possibly be talking about. And there's just a lot of other things going on. You hear beeps and buzzes and things, and that references the other activities, votes, committees, whatever, that we're being called to. So frustrated by that. I wish we could have this hearing in front of the entire Science Committee, but also in front of the entire Congress. I think it is so important. If you talk to members of Congress, every single one would say one of our top priorities has to be STEM education. That if we are going to be an innovative nation, we've got to be a nation that is committed to STEM education. But how do we make that happen? And I think that's where we struggle. You hear it up here is, what is our role? And finding that right balance of what is the best way to motivate, mentor, and educate our students, specifically in STEM education, so that we can have a bright future as a nation. We are struggling with that. We need your input. We need your help. I also have enjoyed this so much, but really I'm looking forward to the next panel of young people, which is really, I think, where the excitement is of seeing that from them. I talk to scientists. I represent Fermilab and have some wonderful physicists, and they get so excited talking to other people about science. That challenge we have is, again, what is our role as government? And I think it's telling the story and taking away impediments, of things that will allow young people to get excited and be able to make the most of these opportunities. That's what we've got to do. And finding every possible way to get rid of unfunded mandates that aren't doing anything to excite our kids, but are taking away opportunities from them to pursue their real passions and real opportunities there. I want to thank Dr. Jonah from Northwestern. You all have done a great job working with my staff, and great job in Illinois working to bring STEM resources to local districts. I also want to just give a thanks and a shout out to Mr. Partovi and also to Mr. Kamen on a couple different fronts. One, last month I went with my 12-year-old and 9-year-old and to do an hour of coding in Elgin. We went to Elgin Technology Center and I did the Angry Birds hour of code and was successful. I was able to maneuver and code my way through an hour and loved it and was really encouraged. And the lesson for me out of that was, if I can learn how to do this, anybody can learn how to do this. I am serving on this committee but don't have the pedigree that some of my colleagues have in these areas. But I really did see an excitement there, and what I was most excited about was my kids who were with me and how excited they got, my 9-year-old and my 12-year-old, of doing this. And also my mentor in this process was a 13-year-old who is on the robotics team in Elgin. Got Robot is the robotics team that went to St. Louis last year. Great team. This kid is, the whole team is phenomenal. I am so proud of them. But they're so excited. And my 9 and 12-year-old also got to meet with the Got Robot team to see their latest robot. But with it, what I was really excited about was they brought their brothers and sisters along, little brothers and sisters who are doing the Lego robots. And boy, my 9 and 12-year-old were kind of intimidated by the robot, but then they saw the Lego robots and they said, we can do that. That wouldn't be that hard. And they could start seeing, okay, now I see how this works together, that we can do this. So I just want to commend you for what you're doing, and we want to be helpful. A couple things just in the minute I have left. There are some challenges in this too, is how do we, one of the things I recognize is we see a lot of people who are going to college to pursue this and then are dropping out, maybe some for right reasons to pursue a career, others because they just didn't see it as what they thought it was going to be. So just would ask, what can we be doing to encourage people who should be staying in this to stay in it? Are there more internships, mentorship, other relationships that we can be encouraging or building that will help people who really are our best and brightest staying in this? Certainly we want to do it on the early side, and I think FIRST is doing a great job at this. Code.org is doing a great job of this. But what else can we be doing to make sure young people who should be in this stay in this?
I'd like to say a few words that actually address your questions and some of the previous comments. There was this conversation about kids don't like trigonometry, they don't like calculus, they don't like tests. And what we showed, and you saw with your own kids, is that kids like making apps. They like making cool stuff. With respect to the role of the federal government, without the federal government's help, we've managed to get this into tens of thousands of schools. And in fact, even at the elementary level, even in rural schools, in 1 month, our curriculum that you saw, a 20-hour-long course is already in almost 10,000 schools at almost no cost with no funding other than what I've managed to raise. But the most important role for you guys, I believe, however you want to do it, is to remove the barriers. And the goal I would think of is basically put the T into STEM. When you think of STEM, your mind goes to us, the types of things we represent. But when you talk to a school about STEM, what they think about is predominantly life sciences and math, and maybe physics in between. And the technology part isn't even there. And I showed you on the chart that more than 50% of STEM jobs are in computer science. Dean talked about the H-1Bs. More than 50% of H-1B visas are for computer scientists. But in our K-12 system, STEM and the funding that comes to STEM, the definition, does not include computer science. That should be something that the federal government can play a role in, because currently it does actually provide barriers.
Yeah. My time is up. There's so much more that I'd love to talk with you all about. Really would echo that we'd love to have you come back and have some more focused testimony on this and get other committees engaged and involved in this. I'm a co-sponsor of the Computer Science Education Act, which is a small step in the right direction. There's so much more we can be doing there to recognize how important that is. Last thing I will say is how important parents and teachers are. I just feel like that is the linchpin on this so much. Is I see so many parents who are intimidated by this and teachers who are intimidated by this, and anything we can be doing for them to see this is a great opportunity for your kids to have a great future and maybe change the future. And so Got Robot, for example, this robotics team in my area happens to be a homeschool team. And so those parents are incredibly dedicated to their kids' education, certainly, but also to that team. And it pays off such rich dividends, which I just was so inspired by, and my own kids were inspired by as well. So thank you all. Wish we had a lot more time, but also looking forward to hearing from students who are engaged in this. With this, I yield back. Thanks, Chairman.